if you look at how now, let us see first the technical tools quickly, and then we'll go to the intellectual approaches. Write a point or two on a piece of paper or a computer and share with the partner. What tools are you using currently? Materials, applications, technologies, labs. What are some of the tools? The tools may extend themselves into platforms, networks, that may even include people. What are some of the materials? And then we'll get to the methods and skills. What do you use to help you do literature review, to facilitate literature review? What are the tools?
So for me to review the literature, I usually use the like search engine, like SciFinder, for find like most of the current update literature first, and then I guess another technical issues that I like PowerPoints. So usually I present those literature review for my group members. That's my usual routine for the literature review.
That is interesting.
Other than the writing proposal.
You went, from tools to delivery. Because sometimes, that's how you get things done. A lot of times, many people across the disciplines write, research, and do what we teach in the process. They don't even realize that they're doing it, but it's embedded in the process. It's called the theory of the embodiment, the idea of embodying what happens in the process and what people are doing or integrating. Yeah. So others? What are the tools?
Well, I always use Wikipedia because when I see some concept that I don't understand, and sometimes there are some concepts, even if I understand what they are, but I'm not sure how to describe it very accurately.
Wow.
So I just check how the Wikipedia describe online to give me a better understanding.
Let me ask you, you are an international student, right?
Yes.
So you didn't study undergraduate degree here?
No.
But in another country.
Yeah.
And are you new relatively, or how many years have you been here?
I'm a second year PhD student.
Is your looking at Wikipedia has to do with the curiosity to understand the broader background knowledge? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the papers written by others, for some concept I don't fully understand it, so I just check Wikipedia to see what it means.
So you do need that background, general, broader context and knowledge.
Yeah.
Because the articles are talking at that level. What is really funny is that the articles are written by professors and specialists for specialists. The audience of journal articles are not graduate students, but we always use them as the material for teaching graduate students, which is good and not good. Good because we are challenging everybody a little above their level, right? Sometimes it is way too far. There's a Russian education philosopher, theorist called Lev Vygotsky, who says there's a zone of proximal development, which is if you take it to just enough above the level of the child to reach the candy, they'll learn how to get the candy and climb. But if you put it way too high, then the child will never learn because the candy is too high. Your articles, the journal articles, were candies that are up there sometimes, right? And so you found a hack. It's a good one.
And like to a certain extent, like sometimes Wikipedia has like a source that's like originally.
It also gives you that ladder upward.
Yeah, sometimes they're using the recent search engine like SciFinder. They only usually present some of the most recent review paper or the articles that's being studied. But like sometimes those concepts are originated like 50 years ago.
Great. So it's not just background, but also sort of an interface to or a junction. Yeah, it's a good one. Bibliography, annotated bibliography, another one, another hack. What other tools, hacks?
We use a tool called Mendeley.
Mendeley. Yeah.
It's like a storing all the literature.
I tried and failed, and I'm very manual.
What is that tool?
Mendeley, Mendeley. It helps you to track, annotate, organize.
It's basically like
It's a
EndNote.
vector.
EndNote?
No, it's
It's
like
alternative
a
EndNote.
Say what? Take it.
It's an alternative to EndNote.
Alternative EndNote, yes. Others?
Alternative to?
And so, others? What are some other tools?
I use Evernote.
Evernote?
For
Another
our
one that I
research.
tried and I wasn't impressed.
Evernote I use.
You do?
No,
This is
but
my
day-
second
day-
time trying.
Day to day in activities.
Why? How did it help you to review
So
literature?
the first time I tried to use it for schoolwork and I felt like it didn't work very well, but I think doing it with research, I like that you can search things by tags, so I can tag things with multiple, that it's like based on the project, based on the procedure, based on,
Oh, wow.
the specific type of document, so that I can group things and like refer back to them easier. So I'm using it more for that versus a way to like just completely take notes and store notes. It's more of a like looking back on things and like filing them sort of.
Yeah, I'm using it for last 1.5 years almost for the stuff.
Oh, wow.
It's like really good.
I'm gonna try one more time, because I felt like these things are taking my agency and control away from me, and I can't do something the way I want, and I'm a stickler, so.
Evernote gives you a lot of flexibility compared with notes.
Great. So let's move on to some of the things that I listed. Library databases, journals, which helps you to find journals, books, news items, and don't forget, sometimes library databases are not simply whatever is electronically available. Archives sometimes take you to the historical materials that are not necessarily available online. So students just think this generation, not our generation, but the younger generation thinks everything's on the internet. It just sounds sad. They think that everybody's on the internet. It's just sad, okay? Because it limits it, depending on your field. No.
It might be that it's diluted and it takes a lot of time compared
Yes.
to, well, because I myself initially was thinking, oh, everything was on internet.
And
I
that's a computer scientist.
I stopped buying textbooks. Later I realized that I was spending more time on internet trying
Yeah.
to get some things useful. Then I started.
Somebody's done synthesizing, organizing, historicizing in a place that the internet has not yet captured. And you've got to honor that. Human knowledge in the modern version, in the print form, is 3,000 years. We've probably captured only a certain percentage, maybe 60, from anything before the last 40. And so you're going to say that we have everything on the internet? Like, come on, give me a break. If you think none of the older knowledge is relevant, which I doubt, you're being serious if you say that. At one level, somehow, somewhere, the holes you put, some people punched on these cards, there was an idea there. Not just the cards that were punched with holes. There was an idea there that may not have transferred over. Anyway, so other databases and search engines like Google Scholar. What others?
SciFinder for me.
SciFinders?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a whole list of databases on the database index on the library's website. So please don't rely on just one of them that the library pulls on and puts on the front page that is EBSCO, only good for humanities and social sciences, I think mostly. Conference papers and proceedings. Sometimes conference papers are not published, and therefore you've got to find by contacting the person or by Googling on outside of databases so that they may have uploaded on, some people may put them on their website, or you may need to go to the book, the conference book, the program, and you may want to look at some latest presentations in your discipline, and you might want to check off 7 of them and say, contact those people and say, hey, can you send me a copy of that? So if you want to sound like you're really a sophisticated scholar who is engaging the latest scholarship, that may be one little trick. I heard somebody say in our field of writing and rhetoric that this year people are asking, where is our discipline headed? That's the question being asked for a job interview. So you're going to not get a lot out of the archives and the Google Scholar. You might want to talk to the people at conferences. That is your tool too, if you think about it. Or get in touch with people at a conference that you could not go, or the conference you went to, and for every one panel you went to, there are 36 others. You might have missed because you were, confused and disoriented, like I am all the time. And because I try to get too much done, and then I missed the most important one. Organizational and government data sources, sometimes you can, go to government sites. Sometimes it may need to require you to go beyond websites or documents that are not on website that may be on other from link available from other channels. Professional association magazine articles. These are not necessarily the journal articles. There are professional organizations that are parallel to your academic organization. Make sense? In other words, these professional scientists may not be publishing in your academic journals. They may actually hate you. Maybe not in your field. Sometimes there is this division, and so especially if you're looking for a job market outside of your field, that's where you need to cite from. People who take you seriously. Make sense? You're trying to make a jump to the industry. So these are, again, very sort of rhetorical, political moves you're making by using certain tools and by using certain coverage and by using certain methods. Company and trade association white papers, patent applications and patent documents, data sets you can purchase or access, search alerts. This is one that I want to pause. Search alerts. In the last 3-4 years, I put the terms international students, graduate, and writing, and some others, and set Google alerts for every Saturday. Every Saturday, I would get all of the news items that were from whatever Google would consider serious that were being sent to me. I have many citations in my book that I'm editing right now, where I have used these other sources, and I've argued that we as a field need to look outside of our academic bubbles in order to understand how the society and the media and policymakers and the public are looking at this subject. In order to do that, we need to look beyond our academic databases into this. One of the methods that I used was to set Google alerts. I say that, and guess what? I believe that somebody was going to say, good idea. You're ahead of us in that regard. That's what I'm trying to sort of, and we need to do this. I need it. Because international students are by nature, that's a book on international students, international students are by nature defined by nationalistic regime, because the word international contains the word national. And because of that, politics and policy, ideology and power, economics and capitalism, globalization and international relations, all of them come packaged with the body of the international student. The paper that they carry, the life that they experience, the obstacles and the opportunity, these are nationally defined. And therefore, what is the national discourse outside of the academic bubbles? If academics are not doing a good job of bringing the voices from the outside in, then we need to build that bridge. We need to broaden our scope of research. So that itself, you see, that itself became a powerful argument. That's what we do. So the review moves are intellectual moves. Review moves are argument moves. They are professional development moves. They are challenge the field moves. They are change the field moves. By simply using a different tool, a different approach, a different focus, you are making, right? So this method of review didn't work, so I reviewed like this. Yeah, you also say that sometimes. It didn't yield a lot of results. So review itself becomes a point of discussion sometimes. That's what I'm trying to say. And then some of these tools open up new avenues and open up new discussions. Listserv, that's a good one. Please subscribe to the listserv, and don't push them to the promotion and forum tab of your Google. Take them seriously. One digest a day. Just look at the topic that you're interested in. That time will build up until you know what people are talking about in your field. At the end of the day, a discipline is a network of people. Not a network of ideas and books and journals. It's a network of people. If you can connect ideas to people and people to ideas, then you are finding your place in the field. Right? So listservs. More so, social, on Facebook, I try to keep closing Facebook, deactivating Facebook, because I go there too often and just look at too many people's baby pictures. But I can't, because they keep posting the most important thing there. On the listserv this week, in my discipline, the discussion is like, oh my God, why are you still there in the 1980s? Too many people who have really not been paying attention to the issue of language for the last 30 years are posting there. Like, are you sleeping? These are some fundamentals of our field. How can a computer scientist not talk about network for 30 years? Just because you're interested in whatever. And then on social media, it's fun. I can make fun of some of the people that seem to be not paying attention for 30 years. And I can also have more sophisticated conversations there. Because on the listserv there are 4,000 people. On the social media, I think I have 100 people that I know. And I can always unfollow the people that I don't see any point. Or rather, put it positively, I only follow people that I want. So, see, again, you build a community that is also socially more meaningfully, selectively done. And citation management software are also a part of it. Like you guys actually mentioned that at first, and then there's a lot more. I will talk only 1 minute more, but some of the skills and knowledge. Learning and using applications that we discussed in this last slide. Searching skills. If you don't know how to search, then the tools are not going to work. You need those skills. Like filtering, like alert settings, like finding the right tool, finding the right database, knowing the right database for the right thing. If you want to look at newspapers, you have to know LexisNexis is the right one. If you want to look at trade journals, then there's another one. I forgot, because I don't need it. That kind of thing, right? Organizing source. That is an important one. I'll show you something. Organizing is extremely important. If you don't know how to organize, then you will be overwhelmed pretty quickly. It must be the last page of your earlier set of handouts instead of the one that I just gave you. Save the one that I just gave you. Look at the one that, the last of this. Oh man, where is it?
It's this, right?
It's a table, yeah, the second from last sheet. Second from last sheet. This one. There it is. I keep thinking I haven't done what I've already done because I'm running on a 4.5 hour sleep today. So if you look at this is what I was doing to write that review that you saw earlier. This is what I was doing as a doctoral student. So no surprise, the first one is copy and paste because I couldn't use Mendeley and EndNote. I got frustrated. Second one is main summary and main quotations with page numbers so I could go look at more. So instead of this stack that was taller than me of articles, I just sat down every Friday for like 4 months. And then I look at the article and I said, put the citation, then put the main idea in my own words, and then put the copy and paste it. Actually, there are 3 sources. Digital journals, printed journals with annotation, and my table. And then I look at this and copy paste the quotation, add some words of my own, and if I want more, I put see more on this page. Now I can put that thing away. I don't need to find that actual physical copy. I can find
XLS.
No, this one is Word.
Word.
Yeah, I'm terrible at using Excel.
Okay.
And so, and then the next column is my own intellectual position, my own argument, my own response. I did that over 4 months. So when I'm writing my dissertation, I don't have to do these 4 things. 1, find the right source. 2, find the actual the citation quotation that I want to use. 3, know what I want to say about that. 4, keep advancing my own argument. I can't. I don't think our brains were designed for that much. So what I did, okay, I broke it down into these small steps. 1 is take a few months. 4 months I was only doing this, okay? But I was also doing this like before, months before and months after. So I had sources like 1,400 sources, something like that. A long 235-page document. Now what do you do with that 235-page document? You can't possibly even search and find if you don't remember the keyword. So I used the 2 powerful organizing methods of modern human knowledge making. 1 is organizing as an indexing, like using the last column. Another one is searching. So I'm able to search and I'm able to sort of navigate, sort by sorting. So I put everything that seemed to belong in the first chapter of my dissertation, I put 1. Everything that seemed to belong in the second chapter, 2. If I am I'm afraid that I will need to cite this multiple times. I add a second column. Make sense? So that I can put both chapter 1 and chapter 2 for the same goal. Now, within chapter 1, I had 160 citations. I'm still having the same problem. I add 1A, 1B, 1A for the things that will come early on in my introduction, 1B for the things that will come in the review portion, 1C that will come in the significance and the delimitation, and 1B and so on. So by putting these, if I want, I can also say 1D1, 1D2, 1D3, 1D4. When I sort by last column, boom, it's right there. Open up this on one screen, and on this screen you copy paste the quotation. Always make sure you put the quotation, right? Copy paste the quotation, look at what your notes, right? I wrote very fast. Can you Mendeley do that? Yes, it can. Right. Yes? So, learn from him. Don't learn this one from me. In terms of the tool. But the skill that I was sharing is pretty powerful. Now, a lot of you would think, I wish I had that time. It's if you think it's worth it. You may be able to do that too, about the most important 100 sources, if not others, that's actually going to go into your dissertation or your paper. But it takes a little bit of a habit. Once you do that, I loved it, because every Friday with a glass of wine, I'm sitting there, I don't have to write the paper. I'm just commenting on other people's work. Okay? I'm being that smart alecky new scholar who will say whatever I want, because I'm not afraid I'm saying it in an actual dissertation. See the safe space that I'm creating with this thing? And the connection that I'm building between others' ideas, my idea, and where it will go? A lot of functions there, right? This one tool was serving both reviewing, intellectual positioning, and organizing. So that one I want to comment a little bit on. Setting alerts using social media, effectively networking. Well, what others? This time I want to ask you now. What other skills do you need? What other skills have you used, have you been developing?
Just being able to find alternative sources. Sometimes instead of going to Wikipedia, there are scientific news articles where ideas are digested for a lay audience. And if I'm not very knowledgeable in that area, then I can use that information to really understand the topic more. And typically they'll have sources that back up what they're saying, so then once I kind of understand the background, I can go back into the actual literature, and then that literature will have their own citations, and it kind of is a forward-feeding kind of progress in understanding a certain topic.
One of the things that I've missed here is to basically ask, what are 5 major sources for my paper? If you ask a knowledgeable person, you might skip a lot of the actually finding, or maybe not finding, the major sources. What are the 5 major sources? Sometimes you just have to use the human person as the most important tool.
Oh, like a guy.
Huh?
Your boss
or your mentor
will guide you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes we forget that. Yeah. So let us wrap up, because it's 7:05. I didn't realize where 6:30 went. I thought it was 6:30, and I looked at it like, no, 6:30.
I can go until 7:30.
Already? So I'll gauge the interest here. If you guys are in a hurry, you should leave anytime. If not, maybe we'll go 7:15ish, and then maybe you can hang around and also have personal conversation. So let's try to wrap up. A Jeopardy approach, applicable approach would be this. You select a topic. You find out how much knowledge research exists on it. You develop an argument, but you are not done doing the research yet. Tentative argument, I should have said. And then return to the survey current knowledge more carefully with that framing, perspective, focus, purpose in your mind.
Professor, can I interrupt you?
Yes.
Finding out how much knowledge or research exists on it seems like we mostly, even if I'm doing for the last 3 years, still I miss a lot of literature. So how is it? We search why, because there is some conference in India where they publish some things important, but we don't consider that as important.
Here's the thing though, I'll tell you honestly, the whole, I would call Western, global, modern knowledge-making mechanism is based on not telling the full truth. That we're asking people to say, here is what we know and here's what we don't know. What does that we mean? The we that is represented on academic databases, what does that we mean? We don't even qualify sometimes and say, in the knowledge available to me, in the 1 month long research that I did, in whatever I could find. We don't even qualify that. If you qualify, then it shows, it's deemed as showing your weakness, admitting your weakness. It is not a weakness, it is a reality. So I don't have an answer to that. I have an observation, and I have a critique. It's terrible. So I don't want to go too deep into this, but we were doing research in different countries about how teachers in other countries describe and practice writing. We were in New Delhi, we were in Kathmandu, and a team was in Romania and in Colombia. And we were trying to collect data from different countries. And we were shocked all the time that we don't know what they know. But before we went there, we were trying to look at the literature, the scholarship on writing in these fields, and it's like, no, they don't even do writing. They don't even teach writing. They don't even actually talk about writing. That's what we thought. They do. It simply means that they don't publish the same way, or they don't publish in the many places where we find. And so I think the best thing, one thing that I know, and this is a longer conversation also, but one thing that I know is to say, to acknowledge, to start acknowledging as you become confident of doing that. If you're not judged, I think a new generation should begin to acknowledge that. It's just, I find that dishonest and unproductive. That's what I'm thinking. I have no answer.
Can you say something also with your qualification that, upon your Google search of the most hit citations,
Sometimes people do that. And I like that gesture of humility, saying, this is what I have, this is what I got. Yep. But yeah, you're right. It's a significant issue there. And then identify gaps, needs, and applications, or whatever we talked about earlier, different things. And then your project will address, then write the review. But don't stop there. Once you write the review, see if the writing process becomes a way of updating the topic, so that you refine it while writing. In writing studies, there are two powerful concepts. One is called learning to write, the other one is called writing to learn. Learning to write is taking you outside of your context and trying to teach you how to write. That doesn't really work too well, except at the undergraduate level, except for certain purposes. Instead, you are writing to learn. You're writing, testing, and recording, and connecting, and presenting, and refining, and writing becomes a tool for exploring, learning. Write and learn. All of the activity that you're doing was to see what you can come up with, right? You're not learning to write. I was not asking you to learn to write. Everybody write a sentence. And that would be learning to write. Fix this sentence. Let's improve this paragraph. But the moment we focus on the content and the context and the purpose of the paragraph, we're beginning to use writing to learn. So then use that process to learn, to explore, to figure out, to see limitations, to realize, and then go back and repeat. So you should not think that you're going to do the entire review and finish it. You'll just get exhausted, frustrated. Take it one step and then see what happens, and talk maybe with someone, and then take another step and see what happens, and then review again. And then you'll realize at the end of the day that most of the review that you did was useless. Right? So there's another strategy that I will talk about. This is in a second. Also, to understand the historical trends, try to understand the historical trends and currents at some point. Identify themes, trends, and patterns. That's another one that reviewers are doing all the time. That this tool was actually a way to do that also, as well as other purposes. Look for gaps and anomalies. Yes, there's a connection, but here's I think what we need to do. Write down questions to ask. about origins and definitions, theories and debates, arguments, and other issues. Note what questions, issues that have been addressed and have not been addressed. What else? I was going to say what else. I think I went to bed at that point. What I was copy pasting now. Left. I was trying to do some 20 different things this week. And a few days ago I was on this slide, barely able to find the time. I was mentally very prepared, but the slide itself is a kind of... Anyway, what other methods and strategies and skills, challenges can you think about the tribute?
My advisor, Martin and I share one of our same advisors. I always like how she talks about this is the beginnings or part of a larger research agenda, so that you don't have to lock yourself saying that you've covered all the bases, that this is your one contribution, but it's going to be part of something much longer that you're going to do over a career.
Another good one. Yeah. That way your approach will be limited and delimited. There's a difference, delimited and limited, okay? Delimitation is done deliberately. Limitation is a weakness. So delimit your research is another one they use. Okay, I will end on a note with a nod to a famous scholar who I tremendously respect, who wrote a book titled Rewriting. He says all writing is rewriting. And he has 4 different ways in which we borrow and build on other people's ideas. I could end on a poetry written by an Irish scholar. That one might make me a little emotional, so I'll start use this one instead. We owe it to our discipline, to many people that have spent their nights and days and lives and bodies to build scholarship. Scholarship is like, imagine a party. This is from another scholar from the 1950s. I think his name was, oh God. Yeah, somebody this. Anyway, can't recall. Crazy. He said scholarship is like a party, where 3,000 years ago, 4,000 or 200 or 140 years ago, somebody came to a room and started talking to another person. They talked about human life, body, blood circulation maybe. They thought it was all ruled by some kind of miasma or some kind of strange thing inside your body, right? And then somebody came, nah, not really. I was actually measuring the heartbeat and this and that. And this is what I found. A guy died on an accident, and this is how the blood actually flew until he died. He told a sad story. Another one came in and tell a more delightful story, but they explored, keep exploring. The night goes on, decades pass. You see what's happening? It's not just an actual place, okay? Decades pass. A new scholar comes in with a new idea. An older person retires, and the conversation keeps going. Where did that conversation happen? In books and articles. But it's more or less like a party. People keep coming, keep going out. A new person basically comes to listen, that is taking the first few courses of their PhD. After that, they say, you know what? That is their first lit review and first proposal for dissertation. After a while, they say, here is what we need to do. That is their defense of the proposal. After that, they are in the field, right? So this is the party that goes on. At the end of the day, the person says, I gotta go. They die. And so a new generation is already coming in. But you owe it to the stream of scholars. And when you are into this scholarship to find out what has been done, don't simply try to find problems and gaps. Try to find ways to advance it. And here's what Harris says. There are 4 things that you do. One is you try to come to terms with other experts in trying to find your own position. You understand, you acknowledge, you build on, you use. Second is forwarding. What do I do with it? Right? You cite in order to forward their idea, to build on their knowledge. Here's how you can apply it. Here's how you can extend it. Here's how you can further understand it, put it in a new context, and so on. Third is you counter. But normally people don't simply counter to say no. They counter to say yes, but. Yes, not always. Yes, if.
Or yes and.
Or no, yes, yes, and. Or no, but. There is more to it than simply saying you're wrong. Don't do that. The same person may be at the conference or maybe reading your manuscript. That actually happened to this one person many years ago, and people in my field keep telling that story. The graduate student just presented and said, Peter Elbow's ideas are this and that, and it's not what it is. And then one guy raised it, oh, I'm that person you were criticizing. I didn't say what you said I said. I did not say what you said I said. Don't do that. So be careful when countering. There's a lot more. And talk or taking or borrowing their approach, which is like you don't take their ideas, but you take their approaches, methods, metaphors, philosophical perspective, insight. So it's not only content, it's a method, terms. Sometimes you just borrow a term and see what you can do with it. That's a gift that you take, right? And so the Irish poet that I was talking about was, he basically says the wheat that was, the bread that I'm breaking was once wheat, waving in the sun, full of life and energy. The wine that I'm pouring was once in the grapes. And it turns out he's actually not really talking about the wheat and the grape of the wine and the bread. He's actually, by using the word wine and bread, indicating that he's eating the body of the Christ. You could use that metaphor that Christians believe that. I kind of get confused, but I know what it means. I grew up in a Catholic school. But scholarship is also the same thing. The thing that you take, be careful, be sensitive. Use it rhetorically, meaningfully and purposefully, but also use it ethically responsibly, as well as mechanically correctly. Because you're using other people's ideas, you need to honor it. Right? There's flesh and body in it. There's nights and sleep in it that they give up. And therefore, the Harris's idea, to connect it back to how you are using other people's idea, the moment you see human beings there, the moment you see community there, then you're going to not look at just the text, just the tools. That makes sense? Just the process. It is not. And I think you'll also get a lot more motivated when you see that you're doing it for a purpose, and the why comes first.